Hello and welcome back, or welcome to the channel. This is A-OK Guidance. I will be your host for the day, night, evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm just doing a random read. It's like that reading you didn't know you needed, okay? So I've been having some questions for tarot, like what should I do? I feel the tingles, I feel the ether tingle, and I'm like, there's a message, right? So, self-love. Okay. Let's just begin. We're gonna pull one of each and just see where this goes. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all the cool stuff. So, the topic is love, of course. He usually is with my readings, honestly, because the deepest parts are always yearning for that return to unconditional love, right? So if you have been feeling like there's just no love for you, or something just escapes you, avoids you, or detours around you, crows confirming, we do have the soul connection with the number 8, with deeper connection, with the crystals coming out. And bottom energy is unconditional love. And as much as I shuffle this tarot deck just to kind of see where the collective is on the soul tree of the Kabbalah, I got very strong energies like Tower, Emperor, Empress, 5 of Cups, 4 of Cups, and then now it's Ace of Cups. And of course 3 of Swords. So what I was getting initially was, again, with my divine feminines and divine masculines, this is a weird time, because we are definitely taking the time for ourselves to balance ourselves out, but it's really hard working on that self-love, right? So how do I fill up my cup? How do I make all of these things happen that I want to happen? How do I manifest and magnetize true love? So we're going very deep into this transformation. I'm getting very scorpionic energy here with the number 8, so it's giving me 8th house. So you might have placements in your 8th house, certain planets that are going to explain why you feel so heavy on your path. Of course, every time I start filming, I get this lump in my throat, so it's either somebody doesn't want me to get this message out, or there's really a lot of throat chakra awakenings going on. Meaning, when you feel like there's something going on in your throat, or you cough a lot, or you cough in a time where there's this profound message being transmitted, or it's just these situations where your voice box doesn't work how it should, when it should. And that is just like a side note from the universe to tell you to rest your voice. What I like to do from time to time is telling everybody I'm gonna have a silent day, and I try not to speak anything. And when we try that, like actually try it, we realize that the words that we cannot keep back are usually like curse words. So there's a lot of self-training that needs to happen because you're protecting yourselves against certain environments and people and situations, as well as lowering your walls with others. And there's this rebalancing that happens in these connections where we share unconditional love. There's an internal rebalancing that happens. So for most of us, we go through periods of heartbreak, or just situations that are here as lessons, and it diminishes our soul. It truly pushes us down, to our core to look at it and be like, okay, what do I want? What am I actually manifesting? So, you know, manifestations work in a way where you ask for great love, yes, your soulmates, the once in a lifetime opportunity. You ask cosmos to magnetize that towards you. But because there is a lack of trusting yourself or loving yourself fully, unconditionally, primarily within, you get people in front that may or probably will trigger your healing. They will trigger your path, or they will not per se trigger your path, but I'm seeing, like, you know, they will come onto your path, and for you to realize that they are not there to stay, but you keep forcing them along, it kind of brings you down, right? And what God is doing is giving us these situations. These people are entering our lives to either disturb or help us ascend. And it's coming down to the collective's discernment and how much have you truly learned about self-love. Everything is a test until it isn't. And that until it isn't has to feel like true home. It has to feel safe, nurturing. The crows haven't been cawing. I've been filming for 30 minutes because I always film before I film, just to kind of get it into my subconsciousness that I'm filming. But I swear to God, they're giving us messages. Oh my God, of course. We got the crow with the autumn. Release the old and rest. So a lot of us have been releasing old karmic ties, old soulmates, twin flames turned karmics, you name it. The combinations are endless, right? We all have our own stories of trying to get to that point where we only feel unconditional love. But society isn't made for you to just go through life all dilly-dally, singing and dancing, right? Usually life beats us down to the point where we are unable to sing, unable to speak, too much anxiety to even get our words out, or our brain's so foggy with so many different voices of fear and doubt and worry and a little bit of intuition, and it's really hard to discern sometimes. What needs to happen is releasing the old. The crow, of course, comes in when the crows are cawing, and you saw me, I didn't turn it around, I didn't look at it, but it's showing me the moon cycle. So from this next new moon to the next waning moon, or dissipating moon, so this next moon cycle will be very important for you to reevaluate, reassess what actually brings you peace of mind and peace of heart. And it might be something that initiates whenever you're watching this, and it's going to build up until autumn. So let's say next 2 months from whenever you're watching this, okay? Next 2 months are going to be very important for your vessel to realign with the cosmos. So because now you have seen, felt, and sensed a lot of negativity around you. 1 second. What's going to now be happening for you is actually having that knowledge and applying it, right? So you could have been, you know, tra-la-la, oh, he's not that bad. Or tra-la-la, she's actually, you know, pretty cool when she's not crazy. No. Everything that we diminish within ourselves is actually going to resurface at some other point where we will not be able to handle a much bigger intensity of what we were able to handle. And those things build up. When I was in my last relationship, the domestic violence relationship, it didn't just go from today to tomorrow. It escalated, and I didn't see because I was naive. Well, I was so in love and so in this Stockholm syndrome that I could never, you know, but that's just me, but nobody thinks about me. So could they never really, you know? Sometimes we put people on such pedestals and we're like, but he told me this and he told me that. Well, no, actions are speaking louder than words. And even in words, there's usually foreshadowing of action, right? So even though every soul has their own agenda, let's say, there are always vessels floating around the space of the universe, the whole universe, where there's light and there's dark, right? If there was just one, the system would collapse. We have to coexist. That's why light beings need to have such stronger discernment, because of the deception that these dark entities are, you know, trying to impose upon us and destiny swap us and whatnot. We have the Sandpiper spirit coming out. This came out in a few readings back. I don't know which one, but it says be playful and time for a deep dive with the Swan spirit. So what's happening is we are immersing ourselves in this self-love, in this Ace of Cups, because we have nothing left but to fill ourselves back up. Most people we have either pushed away or they have gone their own way. Oh, prosti, Berta. She's sleeping. I'm completely disturbing her morning routine. Well, she disturbs my night routine sometimes. She's like super Dora the Explorer at night. So yeah, we have to really come back into... So yeah, let me back it up. We have done the Hermit 2.0, or we're going through it still. And it feels like it's going to be the most introverted summer, or the most expansion-like summer, where timelines shift, we quantum leap again. There's these gates that are opening up. I'm getting chills, like literal, I don't know if you can see, but I got goosebumps all over my arms. So what I'm getting is that the feminines and the masculines will be activated, because what I feel is not my blood freezing, it's like excitement chills, but I usually never get them like full arm chills, but they're still kind of there. So yeah, excitement, playfulness. You're going to be very discerning of what truly brings you into that inner child, what sparks up these joys, what makes you happy, what does it make you smell the flowers? Like, is it that hard to just lean down and do it? No, not in this season, collective, because you're taking a leap of faith with the grasshopper and you're co-creating with spirit. You're co-creating with the ethers, with the animals. You're being so sixth sense that it feels as though every time you have a thought, there's a car horn going off, a crow cawing, there's, I don't know, a pigeon flying by your window, or something that's like, yes, movement, yes, I see it. It's the art of noticing that's going to be very prominent in your energetic field, because you're returning to self. And the more that you, collective, return to yourself, the more you are able to magnetize those opportunities for work, for soulmates, for, you know, new friendships, because you have aligned yourself energetically. And if you still haven't, if you have been struggling with realigning yourself, it's really about these few self-questionings that you have to do. You know, I know it might be hard for you to sit down. I'm seeing a lot of ADHD energy, like your environment may be so chaotic, either physical or when it comes to your friends or family. Your environment could be so chaotic that it's hard for you to just, you know, stop and breathe, because you need a lot more structure that you may not know how to create within your environments. And it's a bit harder for you to maybe quiet down your mind and really ask yourself these things. And what you need to ask yourself is, what makes me laugh? What activates the joy within me? What brings me joy? Like true joy. I'm gonna start first, okay? What truly brings me joy is doggies. My OGs and my friends know I go completely berserk over seeing any type of dog, and everybody is a Malipies, you know, meaning small doggy, like the smallest. Because, you know, Aisha, my Malipies, she shows me now that she's in spirit, she gives me all these dogs to get excited about. And if you have been dealing with your soul family passing away, and it has been hard grieving, it has been hard for some reason to realign with your joyous space, you need to remember and remind yourself that once the soul is liberated from a flesh prison, no matter how beautiful their life was and how connected they were to you, we're all just extending our hands and helping other people, other animals up, you know. So it's up to you to nurture that nurturing part within yourself, right? So the Ace of Cups is something that is God-given. It's a reset of your emotions. It's for you to see the positive perspective, because we have been talking about perceptions and perspectives 2 readings ago, and it's really important for you to shift. Into trusting yourself, into trusting that you also know what brings you joy. It could be as small as going on a train a few towns over to do a little people watching. Or it could be just taking yourself out for ice cream or hot chocolate, or yeah. This car is backing up, right? So we need to retrace ourselves back into our soul, and that's what has to happen to reawaken the love. Okay. Isis wants to come out with this card, and I've never seen this one, so let's read from it. A lot of you watching here are high priests or high priestesses, and the mysteries are being revealed to you. That's why you're listening, because you want to know. As I moved the crows were cawing. I know a lot of the sounds aren't maybe projecting very well into the microphone, but this is just crazy. Let's see what Isis has for us. Scales of balance. So, of course, first things first, the scales of balance is like Justice card, right? It's that God, it's like on the major arcana of tarot, it's the first karmic justice. It's number 8. And then we also have judgment as it comes to number 20. And these are 2 key points in the Fool's Journey, which all of us are on a Fool's Journey, right? Justice is the first balancing that needs to happen. And if we look at the major arcana, so the Kabbalah, 0 through 8, right, is a very personal journey. It's our new beginning, right? It's our unbridled, unstoppable energy of the Fool. Then we have the Magician, right? We are in our manifestation powers. We are the creators of our life. We have all the tools. We have all the elements, as well as, you know, not per se ether, but we are connected ethereally with our crowns, because the Magician has the infinity symbol above his head, right? He has all the tools in front of him. Then we go into High Priestess, the Empress. It's aligning that Magician masculine energy of action and will to intuition and divine femininity before we get to the Emperor, which is balancing our divine masculinity. and so on and so on. So what I'm trying to say, the first part of Major Arcana or the Fool's Journey is very personal, and the Scales of Balance come out with an imagery in my mind's eye that is like a very specific card. I think it's from Thoth Tarot. I don't even have here. I think I sold it. I don't even know where it is, but it's that Thoth Tarot justice, where you can understand that it's universe coming in between on your path and being like, okay, we need to rebalance somehow, and whether you like it or not, this is the rebalancing. And it shows you that you need to weigh these options. I'm getting Maat. I see Maat. She's standing in front, and she's putting a feather on the scale, right? And this is your heart. So it really depends how heavy your heart is. And you cannot leave this so let's say we pass on, and if we have a heavy heart, we cannot pass on. Most of people will reincarnate to be released with a full heart, with a heart that isn't heavier than feathers. And what's going on with Maat is actually, she's very righteous. She's not like tarot justice just. Maat is a deity. She's a deva. She's a goddess that has seen how fair everything was. And no matter how much you deceive yourself, lie to yourself, do all these things that actually make your heart heavier, it's only up to you to liberate yourself, forgive yourself, make your heart lighter, fill it back up with self-love. That is on you. Nobody can do that for you. Even if they trigger something within you, it's to trigger healing. It's to trigger your intuition. So let's see what Isis actually has to say. She says, this is ancient Tantra of the soul. So Tantra is another video. Okay. You are a Tantrika and initiate on the path of divine healing of the masculine and feminine, the two sacred polarities that are universal to human experience. As these energies come into mutual respect and balance, you attain great power, presence, and healing effect in the world of the soul and in the human world of forms here on this earth. You are supported in further exploring this path now under the auspices, auspices, however that's pronounced. I'm Slovene, I'm sorry. And blessings of beloved Isis. So you are in the process of sacred relationship healing of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within your own soul. This is the advanced spiritual path of Tantra. It is the connection of the body and soul. The effect of this inner divine relationship healing is genuine enlightenment of the mind and the body. The body becomes a living sacred temple of light, energy, and wild aliveness. This embodiment can be experienced in movement, in deep stillness, in vitality, and in quietness. So we have been channeling, quietness, needing that alone time. And we've been channeling getting into our heart. So, and in previous videos, we have been channeling getting into our body, feeling our bodies, truly connecting and aligning, balancing out the feminine and the masculine. And this is just a confirmation at this point that we are on the right track. So Isis just wanted to say yes. We are in this video, in this magical space, whenever you're watching this, where we have done, I'm seeing 90% of you watching this video have already done a lot of this balancing, a lot of these balancing acts, a lot of questioning yourself. How do I love myself more? What can I do for myself that will bring me into that joyous space of being the light? Because we understand that we may have had dark paths, we may have had addictions, we may have had horrible relationships, but that doesn't mean that we are not of the light, that we are not of the Holy Spirit and God Himself. So whatever you believe in, I would put my hand in fire for you that you are of the light. And being of the light means there's a lot of situations in our lives that come on our path of ascension and, the path of light, that tries to attach entities to weigh us down, to pull us back, to keep us quiet, to not sing full-throatedly like birds, I always encourage your self-expressions, because it will always filter out who can tolerate you and who cannot. And people who cannot tolerate your light, so when you are shining, they try to quiet you or dim you down or just knock you off your high horse that isn't even a high horse. It's just like their ego trying to, keep you at their level. What you are actually riding is this limitless unicorn. I'm seeing like an indigo / magenta unicorn with a lot of like blowing hair in the wind, and you're just like, that's how I see you. And of course, people with even more entity attachments or demonic energies on them are going to try to, make you believe that that unicorns don't exist. But I don't know if you notice, I kind of cut the deck because I felt like this is the card that wants to show, and of course it's the Divine Masculine. So whoever you are, whenever you're watching this, we also have expansion with number 44, which is my Divine Masculine number. No matter your gender, no matter your role, the Divine Masculine energies within you are like that Saturnian, Mars energies, maybe even Plutonian. So I'm getting like Aries and Scorpio energies a lot. I'm seeing the Fool card and Judgment, but the Divine Masculine within all of us is that big daddy that's like, no, my daughter deserves better. No, my son deserves better. And it can be a very strict and forceful energy in comparison to the Divine Feminine. So when we are balancing these energies within, we can notice that certain situations bring out our masculinity and certain others bring out our femininity. So I'm just gonna speak from my own situations. So I'm a very masculine elemental, and I'm struggling with femininity. Not that I cannot surrender and be graceful and, receiving. It's just that I've had to be my own father my whole life. My mother was too depressed to be a mother, so I had to take on that role as well. I was playing alone all the time in my room. My brother always pushed me away. I always felt like I'm this ball of sunshine that's just, dimming down, becoming the black hole sun. And I was becoming more and more angry. I was becoming more and more unexpressed because all I wanted to do was love everybody. But God needed to teach me about my own naivety and, that sometimes the closest people can be the cruelest. And that's why you need to see in different situations what's not good for you. So I've had 15 plus years of trying to be in a relationship after relationship, which in hindsight only took away my creative powers because of, you know, getting down with people. What happens in getting down with people is your sacral chakras are being depleted. They can be harvested. They can be, they can have magic put upon them, especially because people do not know they need to cleanse their sacral chakras, their root chakras, before they engage in these activities. And what happens is, energetically, we accumulate all these demons, sexually transmitted demons, right? This is science that I'm speaking now. So when we kiss with saliva, we exchange stress as well, right? So there's a lot of these alchemical processes that we have to really go within and away from all these people to come back into that center. And these are the scales that are coming in. It's not just karma, right? It's divine balancing of the masculine and the feminine within. And no matter how people have treated you, what God is trying to tell you is only you know how you want to be treated. Only you know when to, you know, press pause, rewind, and play it again so you don't miss a thing. And it's really hard sometimes when we are already entangled emotionally or energetically or spiritually, physically with people. It's hard to backtrack until it's over. And a lot of us have been learning we've been learning about this self-love, right? We've been learning about what we're able to take and what not to take. So I've picked up the deck with the Romance Angels. It's not the Romance Angels, but it's called something else. This is what it looks like on the other side, but this is what the card came out. It says, I love you. These are very important words. The light beings, your passed on loved ones, everybody with a good intentioned heart around you, they are definitely so proud of you. They love you so much. And if you have been in isolation and feeling lonely, they love you even that much more, because you have taken the time to at least start listening to yourself again. And that's the first step. So, choose love. You always have a choice as to what you should do. But what you should do first is, what's the song? Let me find it. Noche Obscura by Feng Suave. That's the song I've channeled, but I haven't heard it in so long. It's one of my favorite songs, actually. But I was hearing the part of the lyrics where he says, laying on the ocean floor, something, something. I used to listen to that song like a few years ago on repeat. Noche Obscura by Feng Suave. And this card is giving me that feeling like, it's like, baby, just go back from where you came from. And I'm getting like divine feminine energy here. Like divine feminines, you just want to lay on the ocean floor with your emotions. Poseidon is and other water deities and dolphins and mermaids, sirens, they're all protecting you as you traverse these emotions and these ebbs and flows of your emotions. It's like you just want the ocean floor to reclaim you. And I feel that. I felt this before, probably when I was listening to this song a few years ago. But it says rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks with the number 42, which is 6. And it's giving me Virgo energy, that 6th house of home, right? It's that physical safety, it's that emotional safety, and a lot of diligence that comes with it. A lot of diligence. So you have been performing heart surgery on your own, and I think it's not my opinion. The spirit thinks it's time for you to truly rest and relax and just, you know, lay on the bottom of your emotions and look up and do something with them, you know, create something from your pain, create something from your anger, from your sadness. Let's see what Gaia has to say. Ooh, we have liberation, liberating yourself from negative attachments. So that's what's going on. That's what actually is going on in the 3D on the planet Earth. A lot of souls are being liberated. So if you have been experiencing souls being liberated around you, meaning passing into the ether. Okay, side message. For those that have passed on loved ones, if they're a female, you may feel like there was a broken promise. They're trying to tell you that stop deceiving yourself. Stop being in this, it's like I was seeing the number 15, which completely pushed me into seeing the card of the devil, which is Capricorn energy, but it's this human attachment that you have that it makes it hard for you to be liberated from this feeling of, you know, maybe it's hard for you to liberate yourself from the feeling of breaking a promise or not keeping a promise, or something about promise is very important here for somebody. It might be your grandma, whoever it is that passed on. They are in full flight and ready to be your spirit guide. So it happened the same with me and my doggy, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I have a huge family, but nobody but my dog felt like family. So, you know, sometimes when we have these connections, and even my great grandma, she was, you know, feeling your whole life like you're either too much or not enough, or being pushed around by people. It's usually always these good ones that go, right? They have to, because every soul has a limit when it's embodied, but not when it's out of body, right? So when it's free, just like this bird, it's enlightened, it's in source, it's in connection, and it's ready to guide, it's ready to lift your heaviness. So what I felt when I had to put my doggy down, of course, the grieving stages are cyclical. They come back, and I don't know, you get used to, you know, not seeing them, but you go somewhere for a longer period of time, you come back home, and your DNA expects them to be there. So as we are being pushed through these grieving processes, even if it's just people walking out of your life, the grief is there to be transmuted into love, to be reminded of what's important, what their life on your path for as long as they were, what have they done for you? What have they changed within you? What have they catalyzed for you to be as you are today? And even though my father is, you know, not here with us anymore for quite a few years now, and even before that, he wasn't in my life. We have, I say, the best relationship now, because even though I was misunderstood my whole life, and where I'm getting these channelings from, and you must be weird and go away, and you know, my dad had 2 daughters before he had my brother, who's older than me. And when I was born, he kind of didn't care, you know. He was a good dad. He tried his best. He was an alcoholic, but you can tell by the pictures, by the family pictures, that there was a part of him that kind of couldn't keep up, you know. But now that I am on my path for like since I was born, but when it comes to tarot, since 2018, and I don't even remember when he died, because I didn't know until September, and he died in March. So as I started integrating his energy within my field, because we have to look at ancestry, we have to look at genealogy as well as spiritual genealogy, right? It's easier, well, it was easier for me to integrate my father, my dog, my great-grandma, and all these other people that were just pure and good souls connected to God and nature, each in their own ways, that create me and my connection to all of the above. And I could never be sad. Of course, as a human, I have to let out these emotions, otherwise I'm just going to harbor them inside. Of course we have to cry, we have to yell, we have to ask God why, and fall to our knees and full surrender to the circles of life and the cycles of life. And that's how we process. We have to let it out of our system, so therefore we can transmute the energy and integrate it and say, like I said, for instance, okay, I don't know what I got from my dad because I never knew him. So it was hard for me to even be sad that he passed away. I was actually happy because the last time I saw him rummaging through trash for food. And I didn't have more than like €1.20. And back then it was €1.20 was a coffee with milk. So I cannot even, nothing. So what universe did, what God did, was show me that it's not the time, it's not the place. You will not have the financial means. You will not have the energy to do it. And when I thought about it in hindsight, years later, I was like, God was right. Because I would only have 200 questions he wouldn't have 200 answers to. So me and my dad always had this intuitive relationship, let's say rather. And when he passed away, I started integrating him. I started questioning, asking my mom, like, what did my dad like to do besides drinking, right? And she didn't know because she never got to meet him. She never, I guess, cared about his heart as much as I care about other people's hearts. And, you know, the differences between the people that are in your life, or the animals, or the plants, whatever you connect with, the reason isn't to make you stop loving or for you to be depressed because your nana died. And I'm so sorry if that happened recently. But I'm speaking of the fact that sometimes these these souls can enter our bodies and live on. And a lot of people aren't aware of that happening. They can happen through trauma, through injuries, through sicknesses, through whenever your vessels and souls are misaligned from source. So whenever you're feeling down, people are going to be able to knock you even further down, right? This is heavy. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. It's just a transmission. trying to be as clear as possible and give you the information that's being transmitted, but my head just started hurting a lot. So your third eyes are also awakening, decalcifying, because I'm getting strong pain in my frontal lobe region and my eyebrows. So seeing with your eyes closed is going to improve. But there's another message as well. Sorry for not finishing one message sometimes. I guess everything was said that needed to be said. Sirens. What I'm getting, that a lot of us have our heart on our sleeves, and in doing so, what happens is that heart is not protected. It's on the sleeve. It's not in the rib cage. So we are able to be hurt, right? But once again, I'd like to say, yeah, that, okay, that's okay. We have deep knowing coming out. So the moon and the owl are both like very content, like eyes closed, smiling. And that's where you're going to be, because you are imagining the home, right? Not just your home or where you want to live when you grow up or when you have money, the home within. So your soul being, your body being the home for your soul is something that is going to be a huge topic for you right now, because as much as you went around these karmic cycles in life, you always were in this receptivity from universe. You were always able to look at the signs. You were always able to see the signs as well. So again, look at this synchronicity. We have No Place Like Home and Vesta coming out with home. And that's crazy. So home is very important. And Nimetona comes out with sacred space, which is you creating an altar or visiting a power place to connect with the divine. So connecting with the divine is connecting with the home within, right? The soul. Your solar plexuses are also being activated because there's a release, especially for my divine masculines. I feel like all of us are going to be flowing between homes and power places, meaning energetic spots we enjoy, like being near a river, being in a forest, watching the sunset, or going to church, going to mosque, going to somewhere with an altar, being around divinity is something that your souls will be yearning, because you are definitely looking for that home within. And if you cannot create that home feeling in your surroundings, in your physical environment, 48 might be significant for some of you. If you cannot create that home within, your soul is going to take you to these sacred places and spaces where you will be able to reconnect with said home within. And let's just ground this energy. We took out 9 decks. This is the 10th. So let's close out this cycle. You're being highly divinely protected. Don't ever, it's with the number 12, which is a 3. Again, co-creation with spirit is very, very important on your mission right now. And another 3 with strength. So 3-3 or a 3-3-3 is something that you might be seeing. That's just a nudge from the universe saying, remember, have that deep knowing remembrance that you're constantly co-creating with your ancestors, with light beings, with God, with source, with universe, with Allah, with whomever, all the light beings, all the light codes are protecting you. They're giving you strength. Tiger's Eye is very significant because the strength card has Tiger's Eye inside. I have it inside Berta's terrarium, so I'm not gonna take it out, but you could be benefiting from Tiger Eye variations like Hawkeye or Peter Seat, or it's not, we call it Lion's Eye, but it's like just red or blue or natural Tiger's Eye. It just has different mineral compositions. I feel like drawing one more card for you for some reason, because I'm feeling like we have given advice, but not like advice. I don't know why. 50-50. I guess we have to see a few more number synchronicities on the timers. What else for my collective? Anything else? Okay, we'll take 3. Courage. Have courage, collective. Have strength. Have courage. You are home within your body. Release. Oh my God, look at this synchronicity of color. Autumn will be very significant point of time, or this is a timeless message. So from this point, the next, after 2 moon cycles, so from the next new moon and then another, and then the end of that one. So let's say 2 months-ish, a bit more maybe. You are releasing because you are getting purified by illumination. So you're this pure being that has a blue and a green eye, right? So you may be resonating with that lone wolf energy, even if you are surrounded by people, like a lot of people. You use your eyes to see anthropologically what's going on in society, and you see the other eye to look from heart. And that's also something that's being highlighted and illuminated here. You could be benefiting from an aquamarine or a fluorite green, or turquoise, anything that is of that blue-green scheme, because the heart chakra and the throat chakra have this in-between space that is going from the upper heart centrum of heart chakra, which is pink, which is unconditional love, to that kind of greenish, right? So we have that light spectrum of pink and green, and in the chakra system, it goes green, pink, and then kind of green again and blue. So this green in between the unconditional love or upper heart chakra centrum and the lower throat is like this space right here. So you might be benefiting from placing stones right where your collarbones kind of meet, and that's going to help you also express yourself more lovingly. I'm getting this, especially if you're watching this in a timely fashion because of Mercury retrograde. It's going to be very important for you to speak from love even more, or from that loving centered heart space within you, because a lot of things are being illuminated, and what is being released out of you is a bunch of this courage and strength and force, and this truly balanced beings is what I'm channeling here that resonate with this message. Because we've went from really feminine energies to really masculine energies, and now we're being reminded of the masculine within the feminine and the feminine within the masculine, because we do need to come into that inner yin-yang, inner balance, you know, a little bit of both, or a lot of bit of both. But we're balancing that. We're balancing and purifying and shining light on what else needs to be purified. And that just might be that some of you may have trouble with understanding how protected and how courageous and how strong you are to go forward and to transmute all of these negative energies. North Node, life's purpose, and air element communicating. So for my air signs or air prominent placements, you are stepping into your life's purpose. So you are done living your karma, 8th house, endings and beginnings. Yes, you're done living your karma and you are now willing to communicate about it. Because everything you've went through, everything is, yeah, to bring change. Lunar eclipse. The change that is bringing is being brought through your 12th house. So you might feel like escaping, running away, or running within, because you are rediscovering your fire elements, your desires, your passions, and mind you, both of these elements, this is what I say when I say I have a masculine prominent chart, it's air and fire. So this triangular shape, let me talk about it. So I can see people's emotions. And when a triangular shape comes, it's usually a very dominant one. So it can be overpowering. And what I'm getting here is these elementals within you might need a little bit more balancing or needing to be looked at. Yeah, I see Sagittarius. So if you're a Sagittarius, you're especially the one that needs to kind of look at these things, or if you're a Pisces. As well, what I'm getting with the Sag and Pisces that I saw is this current last full moon. It was on the axis of Cancer and Sag, but a lot of 12th houses were activated with this moon transit, which means we are assessing and reevaluating our emotions based on the karma that we don't want to live, and the escapism that we've been feeling, or the feeling of running away, is coming from this full moon in Sag, because Sag doesn't feel really comfortable with emotions. Let's be real. It's direct opposite of Cancer, right? So as Cancer lights up your like family and home, like house, 4th house, Sag activates your 9th house, which is travel, expansion, getting the fuck out of here, you know? And yeah, you are the types that believe in these great mysteries of life. Pisces comes out. I believe. What do you believe, collective? You believe in your friends, 11th house. So what about friends? Void of course moon, missing, but it came out in reverse. So a lot of karma has been dealt with through your friendship circle. So if you have been fighting with people in different ways, it's because you were believing in what you were seeing. You were believing that some things need to end, because that's your life purpose. If you wouldn't have let them go, you wouldn't get abundance. If you kept on to these people, God will never bless you, because they don't deserve to have an ounce of your future blessings, or just anything that they would feel entitled to. So collective, keep your strength up. You might benefit from resistance training, or just a little weight training, or just walking a little bit uphill. So you challenge your body, your heart rate, and also feel more grounded, especially if you have been in the ethers a lot and at home a lot, and just, I don't know, watching readings or just floating in your own spaces, in your own sacred spaces, getting these deeper understandings and whatnot. So Spirit is kind of pushing you outside if it's not too hot, or just going for a walk when the sun falls, or going to see a sunset is going to help you balance your fire elementals as well. So I think watching a sunset is healing your divine feminine, whereas watching the sunrise is healing your divine masculine. 59:59 on the timer. Okay, let's finish here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this resonates. If it did, please leave me a comment. I would love to hear anything, how this resonates, because it, you know, as a tarot reader, I'm just punching in the dark, really. But I'm punching with the light. So let's roll with the punches of the light and take care, everybody. I love you so much. You have no idea how much love is being sent to you. So much love. I hope you receive it. I hope you feel it in your heart. I hope you feel it wash over your body and give you strength and give you courage and intensity to do the things that your heart wants to do in this lifetime. So its soul, you know, the soul can be truly returned to where it came from, not stuck in these karmic loops. So I wish you all the best on your paths to ascension. Have no fear. Lynch is here. ALK Guidance, don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss a reading, because these are gonna get wilder and wilder, I can sense. Love you, bye!